Coming up on Mountain News this morning, folks are preparing for more winter weather as some feel like they just can't catch a break from anything. Plus, schools are battling the flu and more as respiratory illnesses surge in the United States.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and a happy Tuesday to you. My name is Amelia Lee here with you on this February 11th. It is 5:30 on the dot. It also means it's time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Desmol for a look at the forecast. Megan, we are in that first alert weather day today, and I know when I was driving in, I was able to wipe the snow off my car, so it wasn't too bad for me, but granted, I left at 3:45. So how is that visibility now that we've gotten more through our morning?
Well, the visibility has definitely decreased. Not only are we seeing that heavy snow in areas and heavy rain in others, but also fog is in the forecast as you are heading out the door. Here's a look at that visibility this morning. Some places are seeing quite heavy and dense fog, especially towards Jackson. Now, for the most part, the main issue with your visibility will be that system moving through. We're seeing the heaviest of that snowfall is you're traveling towards the southern portion of Perry County as well as Leslie County and Letcher, also seeing some quite heavy snowfall right now. Heaviest rain, well, that will be towards London and Laurel County, seeing some freezing rain as you're traveling towards Knox County this morning. Current temperatures are definitely cold this morning. We are seeing the low 30s, which is why we're seeing the snow chance. We are below freezing in most cities in our area, but as we head into the afternoon, we will be well above the freezing mark in the upper 30s and low 40s, which is why that snow will transition to rain as we're heading into the afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours. Amelia?
As you said, Megan, snow and rain could fall in parts of our region this week. Rockcastle County has already experienced both and a tornado this winter. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to people preparing for another round of extreme weather.
Mark Gaylord's home was hit by a tornado on Thursday. The National Weather Service said that it was an EF1 with winds of about 90 miles an hour.
Shook that whole end of the house, pretty much pulled it away from the other structure, and moved the wall off the foundation.
He's not sure what it'll take to fix it, but there's little time to make repairs as he and others wait on another system to come in.
Well, I felt like it raised up a little bit and then hit hard. It buckled the siding a little bit, and so I don't know for sure what kind of damage I've got into yet.
Rockcastle County officials say they have restocked on salt and their salt shed is full, but in just a couple of weeks' time, they use an entire year's supply of rock salt. Crews are getting their trucks ready for several different scenarios.
It keeps us busy, and then, you know, there's still some uncertainty on it, so we're planning for the worst and hope for the best.
Snow means a lot of work clearing and salting. If there's flooding and more rain over the next week, that means likely damage to roads.
We've already had an abundance of rain, lots of roads washed out. We went out and made the repairs for us, so.
County officials say people simply need to be patient given what the conditions may be. In Rockcastle County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Rockcastle County officials say salt is costing them about as much as blacktop, which runs more than $100 per ton. Well, the city of Hazard introduced its new police chief yesterday morning. Zach Miller was a detective lieutenant with the Perry County Sheriff's Department and previously worked for the Hazard Police Department. Miller says he looks forward to this new role and serving the people of Hazard. He says he wants the department to focus on making connections in the city.
The mindset of the police department, I feel like, needs shifted back to helping the community and making the community grow.
Miller says his main focus is to make the Hazard Police Department the professional standard of law enforcement, with a focus on community input and treating people with fairness and respect. Miller replaces Darren Williams, who was fired in December. Governor Andy Beshear recently announced Kentucky saw the first death of a child to the flu this season. East Perry Elementary officials say they mostly see strep and flu type A. They are prioritizing thoroughly cleaning hallways and classrooms and teaching kids the importance of washing their hands. They believe they have the resources available to keep classes in session.
That way parents don't have to worry about coming to pick up the kids and taking them out of school. They can just see a provider while they're here at school with us.
East Perry offers telehealth to students through the primary care center. This helps with both parent schedules and the number of absences in the schools. The provider is able to prescribe students with the appropriate medication and care with parents' consent. It's encouraged that you keep your child home if they do feel sick or if they are running a fever. Well, nationwide flu cases are also surging in the states. The latest information from the CDC shows doctor visits for flu illnesses have reached the highest level since 2009. The CDC says this season an estimated 13,000 people have died from influenza. On CBS Mornings, Dr. John LaPook stressed that in any given year, up to 41 million people can get the flu and more than 50,000 people could die from the virus.
If you have some sorts of symptoms, how do you know if it's the flu versus just common cold?
Well, you know, in general, the cold symptoms are from the neck and above. You know, the sore throat, the cough, the runny nose, and all that stuff. Once it starts going below the necks and you feel aches and pains and fever, you can have nausea, vomiting.
Dr. LaPook says it's still not too late to get a flu shot. And if you come down with the flu, he advises asking your doctor about the medication, Tamiflu, as soon as possible. Well, gardens are becoming a more important part of the hotel experience, not just to enjoy the greenery, but to eat fresh foods and take part in activities that give a taste of the relaxation gardening can bring. CBS News correspondent Winnie Gillette takes us through the trend in today's Travel Tuesday.
Softer foliage like that, more water.
The host of the Netflix show Instant Dream Home, Nick Katsumpis, led a gardening workshop at One Hotel Central Park this past fall, itself a green sanctuary in New York City.
Especially post-pandemic, when you saw so many people yearning for more greenery in their lives, I'm starting to see every hotel, no matter what their focus is, really starting to try to bring more green in some kind of way into their hotel's experience.
Katsumpis partners with One Hotels nationwide for activities like pumpkin planting, carving out the seeds, and creating seasonal decor that's also therapeutic.
For me, it's definitely my form of stress relief, and I think a lot of people see that too.
New Yorker Scott Karoka has signed up a couple times.
It's fun to do these workshops, to be a little creative, get to do things that I probably wouldn't be able to do at home.
The trend has also taken root at hotels with a space to create gardens on more land, like here at Kimpton Mausolos Resort and Spa, north of Los Cabos, Mexico. Culinary director Sandro Falbo forages from his expansive gardens throughout the 25,000 square foot property where we stayed for a special rate. From vegetables
3 years of growing, and you know, this year is going to be a good harvest.
To herbs and flowers.
It's like for a kid in Toys R Us, more or less. You know, it's just the best.
He calls himself the seeds keeper, choosing what's grown to create colorful dishes like salads with more than 30 fresh ingredients.
What I love, for example, it's a tomato that has been just kissed by the sun and eaten by the guest.
The chef also uses distillation to make herbal essence water, delivered to rooms every morning.
People underestimate herbs, and people should put more herbs into the food because herbs are part of the medicinal plant.
In the spa, guests can use dried flowers and herbs to create their own aromatherapy blend, another aspect of a resort where nature stars. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Baja California, Mexico.
Well, gardening is also healthy. Studies show it increases exercise and improves diet, mood, and even mental health. When we return, a Kentucky business is making the big time with a recent Super Bowl ad it hopes will help survivors of Hurricane Helene.
And several advisories are out for today's system. I'll have a closer look up next.